What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Now, a question was asked by one of the family. Salute to my man, Mr. Bojangles. And I felt like, let me just put this in the video. Plus, I had something else to say to add to it, so I'll do it this way instead of typing all of this in. The question that was asked was about Deontay's power. Okay, Deontay Wilder, how hard does he hit? Is it that he's really powerful? Deontay Wilder does not have devastating power in his right hook, left hook, uppercut, body shot, nor his jab. He has very, very hard. You can say he has a devastating right hand. The only punch that he throws that's really devastating is his straight right. It's a weapon. It's in his arsenal. But that's the only punch that he has. You never see Deontay hurt people with a body shot, uppercut, right hook. You understand what I'm saying? Left hook. It's always the right hand. What he does right with it, though, and, if you watch him, he usually throws it off the right hand. He rarely just catch you with a right hook, straight right without the jab. But regardless, what he does is when he does throw it, he has good timing with it. Sometimes, because a lot of times, if you think about it, Deontay will miss that shit a million times and before he finally landed a lot of times. Because from the very first round, he starts throwing the jab right hand from the very first round. But what he does when he lands it, a lot of times I've seen him, he'll throw the jab. He literally lifts his body off like lifts his leg up. So when he throws it, he literally like hops. So he's getting all of his weight behind his shot. So he does that, and it's effective when it lands. Okay. So yeah, he does have a hard straight right. Now too, the caliber of opponents that he fights, that has something to do with every fighter. Okay. If you have a guy who, like Mike Tyson, a lot of the guys he fought, they was scared of Mike Tyson. So I mean, it's like once the bell rung, they're probably thinking, I should just fall. Because a lot of guys didn't even try. Let's just be real, okay? But if you look at a Mike Tyson, he had knockout power in both hands. Same thing with Ernie Shavers. Same thing with George Foreman, Sonny Liston. Okay, I can go on. The thing with Wilder now, I'm not saying that he can't hurt somebody with the other shots, but he never does. You never see him knock anybody out with the other shots. He might finish you with a left hook, but it's always the right hand that gets you. So when you fight guys who they respect your power to the point where they're not really trying to land anything to harm you. For one, they probably don't want to piss you off because they're scared this motherfucker might really come at me and take my head off, right? So they pit-pat, try to move, hold, pit-pat. But when you got a guy like, for example, Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson. Holyfield doesn't hit as hard as Mike, and he didn't have to. The point was he had to hit him back. And he did that. He took Mike's weapons away. And Mike couldn't land that left hook, right? It's like when Mike couldn't land the shots he wanted to, especially that left hook, and Holyfield was making him miss and making him pay. He'd grab him, make him miss, make him pay, grab him. He was waiting to counter. Sometimes Holyfield was first, but he was waiting to counter. Point is, he was a quality opponent that knew what he was doing. Versus a guy, and a lot of people don't understand this, when a guy doesn't know how to avoid certain shots, and it makes him hesitant to throw his shots. This is why you have different levels. Okay? There's nobody that Deontay Wilder fought, in my opinion, okay, in my strong opinion, that could beat AJ, that could beat Dillian White, that could beat Joseph Parker, that could beat Tyson Fury. Who? Duhampas? Who? Gerald Washington? Who? Luis Ortiz? Luis Ortiz was the best guy on his resume until he fought Tyson Fury. And let's just be real. The only thing Luis Ortiz had was a long amateur career. Luis Ortiz didn't accomplish much of shit as an amateur and as a pro. What did he do? Look at his resume, right? So because Max Kellerman or different people pump him up to be, oh, this boogeyman and this, oh, nobody wants to. Man, listen, stop. Stop. Oh, nobody wants to fight these Cuban fighters, man. Listen, Ortiz has done nothing. I think he's a decent fighter at best. Nothing special about him. A decent, basic boxer. Nothing special. If he was as accomplished as everybody say he is, and he would have beat Wilder. He wouldn't have got beat 2 times with the same fucking way, with the same fucking punch. So at the same time that people are talking about how great he, well, you can't. If you judge a person by the people that you fought, right? Then who did he beat? Who does Luis Ortiz beat that made him great? How did he beat people? Look at the fashion look at the guys he fought and the fashion he beat them in. Look at who they are, right? So let's not get it twisted. The better competition, in any division, I don't care, any era of time. When you're fighting the lesser opponents, you look devastating, right? Then you get in there with the guys who are these are the elite guys. Now you're starting to step up to, or get into the elite guys, and it's like, damn. Because we've seen, I don't know, was it Duhomp? We seen Wilder fight, his eye was all knotted up and swollen, and it took him forever. Remember that fight? Who was he fighting? He was literally jumping with his uppercut, literally jumping in the air, trying to it took him forever to finally get the fight stopped. It's what I'm saying. It's the level of competition that you fight. That has everything to do with it. I think Ernie Shavers. Now, most people will tell you. Now, see, me personally, some things is hard to judge just from looking. I've heard most people say Ernie Shavers hit harder than George Foreman. But I don't see him beating George Foreman. I think George Foreman knocks Ernie Shavers out. Yeah, he could punch, but he didn't have a beard either. His beard was shaky. And he wasn't the most skilled fighter in the world. So when you start to fight elite level guys, you start to realize the resistance is different versus someone who's just in there trying to survive. No, this guy's giving it back to me. I mean, I can tell you two guys who hits really hard, and nobody really talks about their power. Layman Brewster, 1. 2, Samuel Peters. Those dudes could really punch. Lennox Lewis could fucking punch. Riddick Bowe could punch. But people have this way of, well, it got to come from certain people for them to say that. You don't have 2 good eyes that can see. You understand what I mean? These guys were hard punchers, man. So when you start fighting elite level guys and you realize I'm hitting this guy, he's not going anywhere, or I'm throwing shots, this guy knows how to roll with the punches, he throws back, he's giving me something to worry about coming back. But when you have someone who's just afraid and can't stop you from unloading your shots, well, you should knock them out. So yeah, that Deontay Wilder has a solid straight right, but that's the only punch that he has that's devastating. Nothing else. That's just that punch. So we're not really gonna go into his skill set and break all that down. But to answer your question, there, he has a devastating right hand. Yes, according to it's like the level of competition you're fighting, that has everything to do with it. You have some guys have a solid chin. They're taking punches all night. If they don't go down, right? They don't go down. Doesn't mean you can't punch. You just mean they got a chin. But at the same time, they don't go down. If you're a devastating puncher, they're going down. They're going down. If they don't go down and they're showing that solid chin, they can fight a guy who don't hit as hard as you and end up getting knocked out. You just got to catch a person right. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing with Wilder is because that's his bread and butter. He don't have a peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying? He don't have a tuna sandwich next to that. He just got that bread and butter. That's it. That jab right hand. That's what he has. And it's worked for him against the level of competition he fought. But I said, when he come against a guy that's elite level and that right hand fails him, then what? I don't want to hear that bullshit about all these accusations and bullshit. When Mike Tyson, his first real big step up in class was against Quick Tillis. Go watch that fight for yourselves if you don't remember or if you didn't see it. And then, in all honesty, the majority of the people who watched that fight thought Quick Tillis won. Now, Mike dropped him because he jumped in careless with a left hook, tried to throw a sweeping left hook like Ali, tried that out, but he jumped in carelessly, and Mike countered that shit, taunted and caught him and dropped him. So I don't know if that got him to win, but most people feel like Mike Tyson lost that fight. And, you know, for every time Mike looked bad in the fight, oh, Mike was out screwing women. Oh, it's because of Robin Givens. Oh, it's because of this. It's because of that. And at the end of the day, it's like, man, listen, you know, he lost. Or he didn't look as good because this guy fought his ass back. You understand what I'm saying? Guys like Tony Tucker who fought back, who Tyson won the fight, clearly won the fight, but it was a good fight. You know, guys like that, you know, Quick Tillers, you know, Bone Crusher Smith, like guys who, you know, what's the other one? Mitch Green. There's certain guys, they fought the best they could, and Mike, Mike didn't knock them out because they were better. They were good enough to not be knocked out. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, your level of competition, man, that's what it comes down to. You know, you're especially for a guy who relies on just power alone and think like that's enough. Like, you know, as soon as I catch you, it don't matter if it's the first round or the last round. Once I catch you, you're out of here. Then they never land that shot, or you land it, but the guy goes nowhere. I mean, like I said, back to Holyfield and Tyson, there's several times like when Mike did get through, he didn't even budge Holyfield. And it was like, the hell I got to do to get this guy out of here, you know? And then, bottom line, now you're fighting the guy who, while you were in prison, he's out here fighting wars with Riddick Bowe. You know what I'm saying? George Foreman. He's having these fights with Alex Stewart. Now, stylistically, if you remember when Alex Stewart fought Holyfield, right? I mentioned this before, but he had 2 wars with Holyfield. Fought Foreman, you know, but when he fought Mike, Mike destroyed him. He was scared of Mike Tyson. You could see it in his face, even when they were standing face to face, getting instructions, and like, you know, he was scared of Mike Tyson, man. Mike's power in his style, he you know, he gave other guys who Mike could run through would give Holyfield, they would give him a fight. But Mike Tyson couldn't beat Holyfield. You see what I'm saying? So when the level of your competition will either bring the best out of you, but they're definitely going to challenge you more than lesser competition. That's why they're elite level. So yeah, no doubt. He has a solid right hand, but that's the only devastating punch that he has. But even for him to land that punch, like Fury, Fury was knocked out. Listen, bro, I've seen people get knocked out and they lay down till they get smelling sauce, or you throw cold water on them or something, they're out. That didn't happen to Fury. Fury got dropped, he went back, he laid there. He got up. He got up. Simple, okay? I don't give a fuck if he was knocked out for 3 seconds, okay? He beat the team, he got up. Oh man, he got a long count. No, we all know all that bullshit was said. The fact that Fury said he's gonna fight him, he's gonna walk him down, he did it. People act like he didn't say that and he didn't do what he said he was gonna do. The fact that he's an elite level fighter, that was just too good for Wilder. People don't want to admit that, but that's just the case. No different from, you know, if he fights an Andy Ruiz or Joseph Parker or an AJ or Dylan White. This is what we want to see. So people will see the difference. You know, there's no way that you can get outboxed by Gerald Washington or Duhampas. You understand what I'm saying? There's no way these guys, several guys have outboxed him. Luis Ortiz is outboxing him. There's no way that these guys, the lower level guys, can outbox you. And all of a sudden, the elite can't. No. This is where he's going to be frustrated because he can't land that shot, or when he does land it, like, damn, these motherfuckers are coming back. They're fighting back. What the hell, you know? And he's not the best. He has no his boxing fundamentals is non-existent, man. He's just, you know, he has what he has. It worked for him to this point. That's that. Okay, so he has power, but against the elite level guys, it's not going to be the same as what he's already done. Tiofemo Lopez defeats Lomachenko. He gives this heartfelt speech to everybody. People embrace that, and it's like, yo, I like the way this kid is talking. The best is going to fight the best. This is our time, our era. You're going to get those fights that you want to see, yada, yada, yada. It all sounds good, but like I said, seeing is believing. He does all this talking, and he says, Lomachenko, I rank him higher than all the other guys in the division. I think Lomachenko's still the second best fighter, right? Now, y'all know me. I'm not into rematches unless it's really necessary. It makes sense. Well, ever since Tiofemo Lopez has won the title, He's been a lot of talk about who he's going to fight. 1 minute, Tank Davis is next. The next minute, Ryan Garcia is next. The next minute, Devin Haney is next. But then it's like he's sitting there gloating like, yeah, I'm the man. I can sit here and play dictator now. But what happened to all that? The best is going to fight the best. Because if y'all didn't catch it, now he's sitting here saying he wants to fight Devin Haney, but Devin Haney has to fight another top guy first. Another top 10 guy first. Then he says the same thing in regards to Tank Davis. Listen, bro. Tank Davis has been a star far before you. You just beat Lomachenko. Your star is just starting to shine. I gave you all the credit in the world. But you are truly tripping right now. People couldn't understand why I was picking you to beat Lomachenko, because I could see the skill level, man. And I'm like, he can beat Lomachenko. I can feel it. I had that, yeah, he can beat Lomachenko. And you did exactly what I thought you could do. And you beat him. But now you're sitting here playing this puppet master thing like I pull the strings and you jump and dance the way I want you to. First off, man, if you know, you guys both sat on Mike Tyson, you know, went on this show and you guys talked and did the FaceTime thing and all this talking about, you know, restoring boxing to where you're getting, you know, the fights that's necessary. And then you criticize Floyd Mayweather, who's done far more than you did in your career. Okay, I don't care how many Floyd haters there are. You know, you can't see, people can't fool me. I know what Floyd brought to the table, and I understand. Like, people talk about how the fighters change, but you know what? The business itself changed. So you can't expect the fighters to not change. Okay, life itself changes. Okay, remember music back in the day? People used to start songs, blah 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 blah, dang da 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 dang da. But we don't do that shit anymore. That's been dead for a long time, right? Everything changes, huh? Everything. But you're in a position where you have the challenges out there. You have the fighters, the legacy fights that can make you great, make you greater. And now you're sitting here talking about what they have to do before you. Like, see, these guys, this is what I mean. These guys, I don't think none of these guys are afraid of each other. They are all ego tripping. They on some ego shit. The same thing I tell you about Errol Spence in reference to him and Terrence Crawford. Spence was calling everybody out. And he wasn't just saying, no, I want to fight. He was, you know, constantly. He was on Keith Thurman's ass. You can even see when they be at press conferences and stuff, and you can see the facial expressions on Errol Spence, man. Like, this dude don't want to fight me, man. Now he's the man at 147, and people are like, they want that money. They want the biggest paycheck. And now he's giving it back to them. Like, yeah, well, really mostly Terrence Crawford, you know, because he just came back and fought Danny Garcia. You know, he beat Sean Porter. You know, Mikey Garcia, the only one he hasn't faced yet. You know, that's at the top in that division is Thurman and Crawford. You know, and it looked like he's gonna get the fight with Ugas. Okay, but this is what I'm saying. All of this talk about bringing boxing back to the promised land, man, and now you sitting up here playing this. See, this is some real diva type stuff, man. And I just don't respect that. Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna sit here just because you beat Lomachenko and act like I don't have to do anything else in my career, I beat Loma, then you know what? Fight Loma again. Because while they're out here fighting other top 10 guys, and these guys got belts too, let's not forget it. What are you out here doing? You're going to sit back and play, oh, what, you want a soft touch? Because I mean, the longer you stay out the ring and they're staying active, that works against you, bro. So what is the purpose of sitting back here playing this arrogant, cocky, you got to go out and do this? Like, you call the shots, like, you know, you got to go fight somebody else. And so who are you going to fight? There's no reason for this guy to not fight the next guys, the Haneys, you know, the Davises, the Garcias. Now, from what I'm hearing, he might be fighting Fortuna. Okay, I can respect that I can respect that. But the way he's talking, it's like, man, nothing's changed since you became champion. And basically, I think you said all the right things just to get in people's head to make them accept you, because now you're talking completely different from the way you were when you first won that title that night. You were humble. You were a little pissed because people didn't believe in you. They doubted you. But at the same time, you were humble and you sound mature in the sense of, okay, I understand what's going on, what boxing needs. Now you're not doing anything different. And for you to sit and try to criticize Floyd, understand, Floyd went through stages in his career. And as Pretty Boy Floyd, that's when he was really, really whooping ass. I mean, he still did it all the way up to he's Money Mayweather. But his body starts breaking down, and it's like he started to get more defensive, stick and move, land shots, do what he has to do. But he couldn't constantly take the just constantly bam, bam, bam on guys because hands were brittle. You know, he fought back, he did, and it wasn't so much that he couldn't. Floyd can handle himself in the ring. He did what he had to do. All right, simple. You got one huge name on your resume. And the thing is, even though Lomachenko is a solid fighter, he doesn't even have that many fights. He has less fights than all of those guys. He's just older than those guys. But at the same time, you know, like I said, I gave Tiofemo Lopez all the credit in the world, man, when he won that title. But since he's been acting like a diva, man. You know, you're telling Deontay Wilder start acting like a bitch complaining, right? But look at how you're acting right now, man. You're sitting back. Oh, they both got to fight. He said the same thing about Davis and so you're going to tell me that Tank Davis and Haney are not worthy opponents? So now you want some ego shit that you're going to sit back and play this? No, I dictate what you do. If you want to fight me, this is what you got to do. Nah. Because I can guarantee you, you can hold on to those titles, but you need them just as much as they need you. You think just because you have all those titles that is like, oh, I don't need. No, you do. Because if you're going to get those titles and fight nobodies, your stock is going to plummet. And people are going to say, you know what? This guy's holding these belts hostage. I don't know what it is with this era of time, man. Well, I know that the game's changed. It's so greasy. People are so afraid that if they lose their title, they're going to be buried. Because that's what boxing does. So I do understand why these guys, they have something to protect. Because it's like in the UFC, if you lose, it's like, hey, next time. Next time. Now, if you continue to just lose and lose, well, hey, your stock plummets, okay? That's business. But in boxing, it's like once you lose, and there's always a rematch clause, unless you do like how Lomachenko just thought for sure he was going to beat Tiofemo. But it's like boxing, the business itself, yeah, that's how they do it. Once you lose, or especially if you're somebody they don't want as champion, they try to push you to the back. So guys are like, man, I got something to protect. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just not understanding like I'm not respecting these excuses. Listen, man. Anybody knows I support the Charlos. Like I like to see them fight. I support boxers in general. But those are two guys, whoever the Charlos fight, I want to see them fight. Do you guys think that I like? And I don't get me wrong. Now I can understand any fighter saying, I want to make sure whoever I'm fighting doesn't have anything and I own something or whatever. But do you think that I agree with Charlo saying he'll fight Benavidez, but he has to take vaccinations first? You're not saying that about any other fighter, just Benavidez? I mean, if the Charlo said, listen, any fighter I fight has to take a vaccination. I did it, or I'm going to do it, or whatever. So, no, I don't want to catch nothing from whatever. That would make more sense. But you're only saying this about Benavidez. And it clearly makes it look like Charlo is ducking. I like Benavidez as a fighter, but y'all know I'm rocking with Charlos all day. But I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. I don't like that shit. It doesn't, not personally like bothers me, but I'm saying, nah, how you going to sit here and say this man, only way you're going to fight him is if he take vaccinations? But you're not saying that about any other fighter. Any other possible opponent, just Benavidez? That looks like a straight up, hey man, and I don't, you know, and again, I don't see it, other guys may say, yeah, see, he's ducking like he's scared. I don't feel like he's scared of any of them. These guys are not scared, man. They're just on some ego shit. Okay, Jamel Charlo said, I hate Demetrius Andre. I'll fight him, but at 154. Now that's his division. Okay, I can I can understand that. But the whole point of I'm a bigger star than you. You need me more than I need you. I got other options than just you. Matter of fact, I got other options that people would rather that I got bigger fish to fry than you, type thing. But you never know what may happen. And you might find yourself in a position where that same guy that you've been trying to punish end up calling the shots, and now you're the one trying to get a fight. But you know, I'm really just looking at how these champions don't want to fight each other. And basically it's not helping boxing. And as far as legacy, I don't care about like greatest of all time stuff and all that, but even just for your legacy, for you to in your career feeling proud about what you've accomplished. One of the worst feelings that anybody can have in anything is looking back and feeling regret, like, damn, I should have did this, I should have did that. You know, and just cause I like a fighter, man, I'm not gonna sit back and make excuses for anybody. And I tell y'all that a million times, man. And I say these things so you hear me saying it, yeah. So nobody can sit here and say, oh, but it's favoritism. No, hell no. I like Benavidez as a fighter, but he fight either Charlo. I'm going with either Charlo all day long. That's who I want to see win. But I don't like what they're saying. Well, what Jamal is saying. You understand what I'm saying? And as far as you know, getting back to Tiofemo, that situation, you guys have between 135 and 147. I gotta say the 135 division is more lit right now, because you know why? Aside from like Luke Campbell just took a L and all, but I mean like the main four guys, they're still undefeated. Now, yeah, Crawford is undefeated, Spencer's undefeated, Porter's not, Danny Garcia's not, Keith Thurman's not, Manny Pacquiao's not. You understand what I'm saying? So, and these guys are younger, so they're in a position to keep that flame lit. But all of this, oh, you got to go do this, you got to do that. That's come on, man, stop that. That's cowardly. That's some diva shit, man. And the fact that Tiofemo was doing that, and you notice whenever he's talking and he's like FaceTiming or whatever he's doing his live chat, you ever see that little arrogant smirk, that Mr. Perfect Kurt Henry, like, yeah, motherfucker, I know you want to fight. Fuck you. I'm gonna make you wait. It's like that's what he's doing. He's sitting there so arrogant and cocky, as if like bro, you need opponents and you need quality opponents. And if you're just gonna sit here and fight subpar guys, you know he's good, but you understand? Gary Russell's in a position where he's in the weight class. He don't have these names. You're the complete opposite. You have all these names. Make the fights happen, man. And if not, let's see how long people can stomach you holding on to these titles before they start saying you're holding the titles hostage and you're ducking the bigger fighters, the bigger fights that's out there. And I don't care how many belts he has. Now, don't get me wrong. When you are unified or you have as far as I'm concerned, you are that guy. But in terms of popularity, you're still not on Tank Davis level yet. You're still not. So to sit here and tell that guy he has to go fight another top 10 fighter before he fights you is like, bro, you know what? Stop the sucker shit. You know, you talking about stop all the YouTube fighters and you focus on all this other bullshit, but stop all the sucker shit. Stop the diva shit. Fight the dudes that you claimed you were going to fight when you sat there, you know, speaking at the press conference after you defeated Lomachenko, who I fully supported you on. So at the end of the day, nothing's changed yet. So you honor your work, because there's no reason for these fights to not happen. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. That's all I'm going to say, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.